Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Prematch Muti. Today we've got Boy Wonder, Richie Rich, aka BFFs with Colton Cole, gets personal DMs. We've got Tate, potential debt collector, Lola Kale, and then, of course, you guys, everyone knows the Denganator, the Dengasaurus, the stand-in for Gunnosaurus when he's not available, Wonga Denga, and then you guys know me, Claudio. Hey, what's up? All right, guys, welcome. How's everyone doing?
That's so bland, Claudio. Come on, man. Come on, man. Give us some energy, man. It's a big fixture tonight. Give us that energy, Claudio. Come on.
Yo. I think the energy is being drained. It's like a black hole getting sucked out because I'm a bit nervous of this result. It's a big one for Liverpool, guys. If they don't get the result today, then we need to qualify for Champions League. There's no ifs or buts. The budget we're working with now with the current players that we have is based on the money we make from Champions League. So it's a big one. I don't know what Chelsea are going to do if they don't win this one, but it's an interesting one.
Yeah, but I think, isn't it? Even if you guys do win, Chelsea will be a point ahead of you guys still. I mean, you guys would be a point ahead of Chelsea. Sorry.
I'll take a draw tonight. That would be the ideal result for us.
Rich. Obviously, you take a draw.
Who would have thought I'd be talking like this after 26 games?
It's wild. Nice, eh? It's a nice wild feeling. It's a nice feeling to talk and say, "Hey, man, listen, I'm looking for a draw." One guy's used to it, but one guy's now hoping for Aston Villa to lose. You know what I mean? Which they did yesterday.
I'm hoping for Aston Villa,
which they did yesterday.
Aston Villa, Chelsea, Liverpool, Man United. I need them all to lose.
I don't think you can catch that.
Look, dude. To be honest, it's happened on the weekend. I mean, you already. But Man United already dropped points yesterday. It's also quite a slippery slope. You don't know all this talk about OleOut, Rich with his voice note this morning, guys. The truth behind this OleOut. Is this how you feel, Silo? Is this how you feel?
I doubt.
No, man. Come on, guys. He's second on the log, man. That's what you said, Claudio.
Yeah.
Tuesday. He's second on the log. Come on, guys.
That's what I said. I think it's ludicrous. It's your people that are saying that, not me.
No, man. Do you know the problem is, Claudio, is that once you get to a certain place, which we were 3 years ago with Mourinho, we finished how many points? 16 points, I think, behind Pep's City, where Mourinho was coach. That's 3 seasons ago. So we're in a similar position now. I think we're 1 point away from where we were in that season. Sorry. So we're looking at it as United fans saying, we've been here, but don't you think we should have progressed? Do you know what I'm saying? Liverpool have progressed. Liverpool came fourth. Then they came. Then they missed the title by a few points and came second, and then they won the league. Do you understand what I'm saying? So there's progression, but the thing that Liverpool has benefited from is the same manager in that time frame. Whereas United have gone from one manager to the next manager. Then also it's a matter of your transfer strategy.
Why would you go of manager to manager? It's because guys are complaining, saying boring this, boring that, boring now. It's a similar situation. Most draws in the league, boring. Now let's get him out.
It's not about the manager. It's about the person who's selecting the manager. It's about the people running the club. If you are running the club in the way that it's supposed to be run properly, and a club that you're trying to actually win and not trying to make profits, right? That's the club right now is just trying to make profits. Getting to Champions League is profits. They are happy with profits. Winning the title for them is just an added bonus. You know what I mean? This is a business for those guys in the US. Whereas you look in America, where they obviously got the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers for them is like they love actually American football. They love it. You know what I mean? And that's why they went to get Tom Brady. Tom Brady was available. They got him. Now they won the Super Bowl. They're happy. You know what I mean? And everyone.
I love it, Silo. I love it when you cross-reference sports. This guy, guys, just in case you didn't know, Silo is a diehard sports fanatic. He's not just here for United, which is why he's always so diplomatic, somewhat to our disapproval, because I'm looking for more of a reaction. Yeah, he's blaming the owners. And again, the statement is OleOut. Your own people are saying this. So you currently, just to kill this dead, you are saying he's staying. He's not going anywhere. You think he should stay. He should be given.
Why must you fire the guy when he's still busy with what he's doing? Let the guy finish the season. You know what I mean? I think there's been talks about him getting a contract extension, but I think that's been actually postponed till the end of the season, which is good, which is what they're supposed to do. Analyze at the end of the season. Where are we at the end of the season? Okay, are we in the top 4? Tick. Did we win either the FA Cup or the Europa League? Tick. Then and say, okay,
but
cool.
only in football. There's only in football where it's like a manager has like a 5-10 game run. They're like, oh, let's extend his contract 3 years. Rich has just started working now. Rich, could you imagine? You do well for the first 2-3 weeks, and they say, Rich, we love you. Here's the increase for the next 4 years. Well, how are you going to perform after that?
Yeah, no, exactly. It's
You
have to analyze the situation at the end of the season, because we've seen it time and time again where, like, mid-season, a manager will get a contract extension and then it just goes downhill from there. So you need to give the manager something to work towards. I think if they were to hand Oli a new deal now, you know, it might just make him a bit comfortable. But onto the OleOut chat, you know, I think it's premature from Man United fans. Like Selo was saying, you know, who's to say if a manager comes in,
What happened there? Is that me?
Can you hear me, lads?
Guys, did we all
Yeah, I
freeze?
can hear you. Yeah, like I said, we'll cut off my screen, but good.
Okay, all of us froze. Don't worry, Rich. All of us froze.
Yo.
Okay,
Keep going, Rich. Keep going.
No, I was just saying, I've genuinely noticed a marked improvement in Man United's football, you know, from 3 years ago to now. I genuinely think that they have progressed to some extent. You know, obviously they still have a lot of work to do to hit the heights of a City or something like that. But in my opinion, having watched from the outside, I definitely think United have progressed. And I think Ollie's had a big role to play in that. He's still very inexperienced. He's got a lot to learn as a manager. But I think, you know, I have so many Man United fans, and they just up 1 week, down the next week. They love Ollie 1 week, they want him out the next week. Like there's no like level head when I chat to them. You know, that 1 week they hate him, 1 week they love him. So yeah, I think he deserves more time. I've definitely noticed an improvement, but it's frustrating for you guys though, Celo, because you want to be winning trophies, you want to be winning leagues, and a lot of Man United fans want that success, you know, straight away. Where it's with Ollie, it's going to be a couple seasons before you guys hit those heights. But maybe Europa League.
I think what I don't like about, what I don't like about that guy is man, he doesn't. He's not decisive, guys. I spoke about this on Tuesday. Substitutions. That he brought on Martial in the 75th minute against Chelsea. In what minute did he make the substitutions against Palace? 75th minute again. He brought on McTominay and James. 75th. How do you do that in 75th minute? And then they ask him, hey, why didn't you bring on one of the youngsters? He's like, you know, when I was thinking to myself, I thought Rashford, Greenwood and Bruno, I thought I should just keep them on. I think they were still going to get me a goal somehow. You know, I just didn't know which guy to take off. What the fuck? You don't know which guy to take off? Take bloody Marcus Rashford off. He's been off form. Take him off.
Yeah.
Take him off. Bring on the 18-year-old. Give him some minutes. He won't make you lose the game, but at least he'll just give you some energy. Just give you energy, something different. Someone running differently. Marcus Rashford is busy swearing at Maguire after Maguire told him, "Can you please stay on side? Just try and stay on side." And then Marcus Rashford's like, "Ah, fuck you, whatever." Rashford, get off, man. Get off. Get off the fucking pitch. Because you've done nothing.
This is it. It's taken you a while to come out like this. I'm happy. Keep going. I want to hear more. Please,
no, man,
tell me how you really feel.
Guys, I fell asleep in that second half, guys. I woke up with 3 minutes left, guys. Guess what I thought to myself? I woke up, I'm like, oh, flip. Daniel James has got the ball. Oh, flip. They brought him on the 60th minute. I look at the time. It says 87 minutes. I'm like, oh, shit. Yeah, I'm not surprised, man, because there was a point in time when the second half was starting, I changed my position on the couch, and I could see this is a sleepy position. It's because the game is not calling my name. It's not saying, "Hey man, stay awake and look at the game." It's because it's just like, "Hey man, slouch a bit, relax a bit more." And then boom, next thing what happens? I missed 35 minutes of the game because it was so boring, guys. It was so boring, and I didn't miss much. I didn't even want to watch any highlights of what I missed because everyone says that the first half looked better because at least we were trying something with Luke Shaw. Second half, nothing. You know, so.
But Celo, it's funny because David Moyes is very similar to Oli like that as well, especially this season. He's so reluctant to make subs.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's worked in our favor, but we've gone full games where we haven't made a single sub, which
Wow.
is for me
That's
as someone watching from the outside, that's bizarre. And like in the cup against Everton, we didn't make a single sub. Then often the first sub he makes is 75 to 80 minutes. He loves delaying it. It's so weird. And I think Ollie's, similar. If you're going to try and change a game, you got to give lads more than 10 minutes, more than 15 minutes. So I can understand the frustration.
I always say, guys, the mark on that, not even like as soon as if it's not working, 60 minutes. You need to give players enough time to impact. Some guys only need 10 minutes, but generally speaking, you can't rate anyone if you're not giving them at least. I know I said 60 minutes, but at least 20 minutes. Like that's the minimum the player should be getting to change the game, to have an impact. I always go, that's the key mark for me. When I look at a manager and you can see something's not working, if the manager's not making a change late to 65th minute, then I know I'm like, this guy doesn't back himself and he's just waiting for the game to play out. It's one of the, and that's also why David Moyes, when he was at United, he kind of stumbled because, it's caught in it requires big decisions to be made, whether you're right or wrong, but you need to stick with it. And that's the same sort of thing that you're saying now Ollie's doing. And Ollie just rides it out. He rides it out. And before we move on to the next topic, guys, I just want to say, can we all at least admit that Ollie's perfectly geared to be a great PSL manager with the most draws in the Premier League at the moment?
Goalless draws as well.
Goalless as well. Goalless.
Yeah.
Not just draws.
Setting up
goalless, eh?
Goalless draws. Yeah, but
goalless draws,
that type of manager.
How many games has it been in a row now? Is it 4?
No, it's 3. It's 3 with 3 goalless draws in a row now. But obviously the Europa League game, I really don't count it because we had already won 4-0 in the first leg, and we had a goal disallowed for a foul. That wasn't a foul, but okay, that was a foul, but still. But yeah, the Premier League, it's shocking. We playing like how
Premier League. It's Liverpool.
We're playing how Liverpool were playing at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, but like so, Premier League they played Liverpool. It was a draw. They beat Fulham. They lost to Sheffield. Drew against Arsenal. Beat Southampton. Drew against Everton. Drew against West Brom. Beat Newcastle, which was a tough game it seems, and then drew against Crystal Palace and drew against Chelsea. So I mean, yeah, not looking good from that perspective. But guys, for the guys that wasn't, I mean, it hasn't been looking good, but they won their last game. Tonight's game, the Liverpool-Chelsea game. We've got good news from our end. Fabinho seems to be in contention, whether or not he starts or not. Alisson, despite his father being obviously passing away, he might start tonight. So those are 2 big boosts for us. And also, Diego Jota might be on bench. So 3 players we can start saying, okay, squads.
He can't fly to Brazil, I'm guessing, né?
No, because they said if for all the international players, and Klopp's been quite irate about all of this, he says, okay, if international players got to go, they got to quarantine. So if they're going to play international games, they got to quarantine 10 days. When they're going to get the players back, especially for training and everything else. So I think he's obviously in the camp saying players shouldn't be going off onto internationals. But in this scenario, I don't think, to that point, I agree with you.
I think he should be allowed to go. We just allowed De Gea to go to Spain to be with his wife for the birth of his first child, and he's only going to be back in a month. So he's been given obviously you're going to go home, be with your wife, and then she gives birth, and then obviously then you're going to stay maybe like 5 days, and then the 10 days quarantine. So Solskjaer said he can go. Henderson is
but can you compare a player going back to Spain versus a player going back to Brazil in terms of I'm not talking about distance. I'm just talking about quarantine rules and all of that stuff. Like which ones pretty much
exactly that is what if we knew what the rules were to go to Brazil, for instance, or if you're coming from Brazil, you can't come in, for instance. Maybe that is the instance. Maybe the instance is that you can't fly to Brazil, or you can't come back from Brazil as a British citizen, for instance, or a person who's living in Britain. Yeah. So it's all up in the air. You never know. But yeah, it's man. COVID is rubbish, and this international break that's coming up is so unnecessary, guys. I think we should have rather play the games now and then give international break a week, like finish the season a week earlier for the international break to like commence, so all the players can go back home, whatever, and just like play international games. Let's say if it's qualifiers, for instance, play qualifiers for a whole 2 weeks, for instance. So I know like in South America, it's World Cup qualifiers. In Africa, it's also qualifiers, and then also in Europe, it's soon it's going to start the World Cup qualifiers. I think. Play that then, and then after you play all that nonsense, go straight into the Euros. You know, they'll be kind of your practice matches for the Euros.
Yeah,
But
I think
do
that's.
they think?
Nah, man. Everyone's fighting for their own bank, but everyone wants to get that sponsorship money, those TV rights. That's what they're trying to negotiate.
That's
All that
they
shit.
want.
Yeah.
Clouds, how's the stats? How's the stat, bro? Liverpool have won each of their last 4 Premier League meetings with Chelsea, netting 11 goals and conceding 4. How does that make you feel?
That makes me very confident. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you. I appreciate that.
man.
On that note, guys, I will come flying into this conversation. Guys, Chelsea have only scored 8 goals in their last 7 games, which means we know they're going to set up tonight. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be somewhat similar to the Man United Chelsea game on the weekend, where hard to break down. Will they score goals? I think we might have more going forward, depending on how we set up at the back and who they play. But we do know the front 3 will be there. And will that be enough to break down Chelsea? I don't know. What do you guys think, Wonga?
Yeah, look, I mean, Mane, Firmino, Salah on their day, I mean, they can be dangerous. So that's why I say you can never write off Liverpool. It'll always be, for me, it'll just depend how they defend. And whether Fabinho, I don't think Fabinho will be much of a. He will probably make a difference, but I mean, the guy's coming back from he hasn't been playing in a while, so it will be. It probably won't be 100% sharp. Yeah, so he won't be 100% sharp on his game. Can't expect it from him. It would be great for you, but can't really expect it. Also Chelsea, I don't know. I don't think also the coaches just decided what his best team is as well. So I think you guys have the advantage in that sense. And if Rich is saying past 4 meetings is it 4 years? What is that stat you said there, Rich? How many games?
Last 4 games.
Their last 4 Premier League meetings.
The
problem is with Liverpool is that, if I'm not mistaken, if you guys lose tonight, that's a 5th home defeat in a row.
Yeah,
in all competitions, which has never happened before.
Yeah, so maybe that's the little bit of the pressure that we don't need. We probably would have been better suited playing at Stamford Bridge. But, Salah does like scoring against Chelsea, like you mentioned there. So let's hope he plays his best tonight. He's had an interesting season, guys. I'm not his biggest advocate. You know me, like if I got to pick between Salah or Mane, I always go with the Mane. But Salah at the end of the day has been getting the goals somehow, even though he's not playing well. So that's obviously always a mark of a good player. But one of the things from the Chelsea front, guys, no Tammy Abraham. I think he's a doubt, and Thiago Silva's not traveling with him. We do know Chelsea right now, like I mentioned, struggling to score goals, and that's their biggest issue. And you mentioning internationals, Celo, with regards to Timo Werner, I've got a big question, guys. He was starting for Germany in and out. Yeah. Does he get a run at the Euros now, despite the form that he's in?
Yeah, I think that coach, what's his name, Joachim Löw, will definitely start him with Gnabry and Sané.
Yeah.
That's been his starting lineup as a front 3 with the pace that they have, because they super quick, all 3 of them, and I think that's how he will probably continue. I'm not too familiar with the number 9 options for Germany, but I'm trying to think who would be another number 9 option in the Bundesliga, maybe who's doing well, and no one comes to mind. So I do think that he will start. Let's see how he does for Germany in the international break, because the last international break he did score a goal. So maybe it's one of those where it maybe can be a Giroud. He can be a new Giroud for France. Remember Giroud would bench for whichever team he plays for, Chelsea or Arsenal, but then he would start for France and score the goals.
No. But you can't you can't compare the two. The difference is Giroud doesn't need to be playing to believe his shit doesn't stink. Timo Werner right now is completely shattered. The Sox literally coming, and the things that he's saying, he's like, I've never gone through something like this in my career before. And you're like, as soon as a striker starts asking, strikers shouldn't think. Strikers don't think. Strikers are instinctive. That's their strength. As soon as they start thinking, that's the problem. But guys, Liverpool Chelsea game, Fulham Spurs are kicking off in 8 minutes. Wonga, your man's starting. It seems like he's back on the pitch. It's his third consecutive start against Fulham. What do you think is going to happen there with Gareth Bale? I mean, you've got Kane, Son, and Bale.
And Ali starting, guys.
Yeah, I think.
I didn't read that. You?
Yeah, he's starting at number 10.
Is it?
Wow.
Yo.
Yeah, you see, I think this look.
Oh,
Fulham
he's
not
actually
gonna
dropped
be
Ndombele. Yo, guys.
No,
The creativity in that side.
no, he is playing.
Ndombele is playing.
No,
Ndombele is
yeah,
playing.
but I meant he dropped him in midfield lower. So that's what I meant by he dropped him. I meant like he's
Okay.
playing next to Højbjerg. So you see
so
what he's doing there. You see how Mourinho's setting up there. Smaller pitch, compact. He's got creative players for movement, and that's how he's going to move around the stubborn sort of Fulham defense. So that's pretty proper. He's only going to have Højbjerg sitting in front of Sanchez and Alderweireld, and then Ndombele with Ali. Ali, you know, he likes making those late runs. But yeah, sorry, Wonga, you were saying, yeah.
No, look, I don't want Tottenham to win, but at the same time, I also like Gareth Bale to do well. So
it's one of those. I think you want Fulham to win 2-1 and Bale to score the goal.
Maybe 3-2. Maybe Bale to score 2.
Wow. Yo, hey, but tell Stan Kroenke to pull out the checkbook so you can sign him.
I think, wow, you would never come. I think, the funny thing about Bale is even when he moved over to Tottenham, just before he moved, I was also very, keen on the guy. I watched the way he was going through, and then when was it Harry Redknapp who started playing down in on the left mid just before they were questioning whether they were going to sell him or not. Then that's when Bale kicked off, and he was amazing. And then I flipping enjoyed watching him until he had to come and play against us. It was so frustrating because every time he played against us, he would literally leave us. In the dirt, like our players weren't even there. Very frustrating. But I still like the guy. I still like the player, and yeah, at the end of the day, I think I just hope he does well. That's the honest truth, and I hope he doesn't cut off his career short. And he just tries to do his best because I really enjoy watching him, and I think he's still got a lot to offer. That's the honest truth.
I think
today's result.
Let's hope he stays. But obviously Tottenham need to move around some money. Their billionaire owner needs to send Daniel Levy some funds. Obviously, Daniel Levy is also a shareholder, but he needs to send him some funds from Bermuda, or he must just die actually because he's like 80. He's like 80-something years old. No, he's 80-something years old. Man. He can just kick the bucket and just like send these billions back to the.
You're gonna have to replay those back to you when you're 80, Settle. Just kick the bucket there, guys. So Mourinho's actually come out saying, Bale's like, this is as how it is. Bale's going to do well in all the games that don't really matter. And it's going to be one of the scenarios where he's come out saying it's up to Real Madrid whether or not he stays at Spurs. So, Richard, what do you think in terms of if he does have this fantastic, or he has a fantastic run towards the end of the season, is there a way? I know Silos mentioned he's hoping the inheritance from the old man coming through to help them keep a Bale. But does Mourinho at the end of the season, despite this sort of run, go with the Bale? Or does he look somewhere else for a new alternative?
It's so difficult because, he is starting to find a bit of form. And you can't deny that he is a world-class player when he's playing at his best. There's no doubt about it. The issue is obviously the wages, which are just astronomical. So if any deal was to happen, Real Madrid would have to compromise in some way. And I can't really see that happening, to be honest. Real Madrid will want to get their end of the deal. Spurs, if Bale has a decent season now and ends strong, they'd love to keep him. But his wages are just absolutely ridiculous. I have a mate that was working on an audit of Tottenham Hotspur and like going through the numbers when Bale joined the club. And he was just telling me it's ridiculous. It is actually ridiculous how much money that guy's earning and what Spurs have had to give up. So if he was to stay on, someone has to compromise. But he's starting to hit the heights that we saw towards the end of his Tottenham career. Still got a long way to go. But with the front three of Kane, Bale, Son, that's in form. That's one of the best front threes in the league if everyone's playing at their best.
If not in the world.
Yeah.
No, valid. Fair point. Wonga, weekend's games, Burnley, Arsenal. I mean, Burnley are stubborn. We know that. We are hoping they really get. Well, I'm hoping personally that they get relegated this season. It's just about that time for them. But what do you think's gonna? How do you think it's gonna shake down here?
Yeah, look, I think I don't know what Burnley are playing at, but they ended up scoring first against Leicester. But I've always said Leicester are not 100% convincing for me.
Guys, we said I said this the other time with Leicester that Leicester's wheels will come off, and you can see it, guys. It's at the clutch. These guys got get knocked out of what's this thing called Europa, and now they lost to Arsenal and they're drawing. These guys, watch out, guys. Leicester might be the team not to make top 4. Sorry, but Wanga, sorry, you can continue there with your Burnley slander.
No. But I agree with Selo in terms of the Leicester thing. And even against Arsenal, they weren't also, I mean, 100%. I mean, even though the goals, the penalty they gave away, that was very silly to do something at that time. To have a lapse in concentration at that time. But I think Arsenal, like if you got, I mean, now you had last game, Pepe looking a bit better, Willian looking a bit better, not where I would expect him. Still not where I would expect him to be, but looking a lot better. Definitely, Arsenal, we have what it takes to beat Burnley. We do, and all I just like for me, if for all I want to see Arsenal is as for us to have consistency in the way we play. You know, Arteta's been switching things left, right. Maybe he doesn't know what his best team is at the moment, but I doubt that. I mean, up front, it's pretty much obvious who the best players are. Defensive-wise, maybe we need to look at that. It looks like he's trying to involve Pablo Mari. But I think he also needs to be cautious of that because it nearly cost us against Leicester. But at Burnley, I can't see them. I mean, they can cause... honestly, I don't see them beating us, Burnley. Maybe they hold us to a draw.
Do you think that you have enough grafters in the side and guys that are willing to get stuck in? Because you know how Burnley are. You know, they're that dirty kind of team. They're not going to play pretty football. Do you think that there's enough? Obviously, great result against Leicester. Do you honestly think there's enough in your tank, you know, to have those type of grafters in midfield?
I think I think the guys you'd want there, I think for me, I would play a Martinelli. Obviously, I'd play Saka. I'd play Lacazette, Smith Rowe. I would start those guys in the.
So you would play in midfield.
So you start like answer the question from Richard first.
Pardon?
Who would you play in midfield? Yeah.
See, now midfield, I don't need if you had a sense of defensive mid, you should try it. Take Shaka out once. Let's try to play with one maybe if we need it actually really.
So
and play with Al-Neni.
What about Partey? Isn't Partey back?
I don't think is Partey back. Oh yeah, Partey is back. Yes, Partey could be.
He came on against. I don't know. Did he come on against Leicester? I remember he came on against Benfica.
Yeah, I think he did come on against Leicester. But see, Partey with his injury, he's injury prone now. This injury of his, it's like the same thing the whole time. That's why I'd also try to kind of watch out for that one. Let the guy heal. Because literally, I think they didn't play him for 2 games once, and then they came back now to 1 game,
guys,
2 games.
You need to play him. You need to play him so that he's injured for when Bafana play Ghana, and now in the international break.
Yeah, so you've got a lot to say about that, though. But just sorry, continue, Wanga.
Now, look, I think for me, like Rich said, you'd need grafters on that pitch. That's why I said I have a Martinelli. The reason I play Lacazette is because you're going to need someone who's going to be able to, I mean, hold the ball against these defenders as well. We're not going to cruise through the middle of that pitch, and that's why I play Lacazette.
So you're captain on the bench.
Beg your pardon?
You're captain on the bench.
You see, now that's another thing. You have to try to figure out where. I don't think we'll have much of a problem if we played him off, but definitely with his goal scoring, with the way he scores goals and the way he's scoring now, I think you'd have to start as well. Then you'd have to now. You'd have been a dilemma. It's his dilemma now. With his start of Smith Rowe, I would start Smith Rowe 100%. That's what I would 100% do. Start Smith Rowe, which means that
No, start
Now you're looking at
Aubameyang on the left, and then Smith Rowe on the 10, and then Saka on the right, and Lacazette in the middle. There you get everyone you want in the field, and then you can play
and
Ceballos and El Nini in the midfield.
No, so you see, that's why I say I don't want that. I don't want two center defensive mids.
No, but Ceballos is not a center defensive. He's a box to box.
Most of those guys, they just sit at the back. He wants them to sit there. He wants one to go forward, but then one sit back.
Ceballos is box to box, guys. He plays forward passes. Even Xhaka plays forward passes, actually. El Nini plays sideways passes that you don't like. that whole thing of yours of going.
Xhaka, I don't have a problem with him going forward. That's like I always said. It's that when he defends is my biggest problem. But Arsenal sort that out. I don't know, but definitely I would have like I said, the Aubameyang start, Lacazette starts, Smith Rowe starts. It's definitely if they had to have a dilemma between Smith Rowe and what's this guy? This new guy now, and Odegaard starting, definitely would have to start Smith Rowe. For me, he's proved it, and I mean, you're going to get a lot out of this youngster. And also, but Martinelli also, he's sitting on the bench, and this guy he's grit, his grind is that's one player I like a lot just because of his grind, you know, and he can cause mishaps in many defenses because of the way he works hard.
It's almost like Suarez-esque, like a Suarez-esque sort of vibe, the way in which he keeps hunting guys down. Yeah.
Yes, and I like that about him. But I'd really like to see him start, to be honest with you. If you're not, but did you like the last game when we started the other guys? Yeah, sorry.
Wong, I want to ask. I read something now today
about
the
fact that for this, guys. These people are for the show. He's like saying pardon. He's saying sorry. He's like,
but he's a well-mannered guy, bro. He's a well-mannered guy, bro. Like the rest of us are just like, you know,
total hooligans. Yeah,
but Wong, I was gonna ask in terms of like Eddie Nketiah. I read something where they were saying that Arteta was saying, yes, it's a bit obviously concerning that Nketiah is not getting the game time that is required. Obviously, last season he was on loan. I think it was last season, or the season before that he was on loan, and with Leeds, you know what I mean. And then now he's back at Arsenal, and he's at the age where he's supposed to be playing, because also he is a player where you guys see a future for him in the squad and say, okay, cool, he's going to be one for the future, and he has to start to play, you know. And right now you're not playing him. You're playing Lacazette and Aubameyang ahead of him, guys who are 30, 31, 32. So what's going to happen, man? What's happening with him?
I don't know, because I think the other guys, I think Willock was having the same situation, and he ended up leaving. And who was the other one? It was
Niles, Maitland-Niles.
No, not Maitland-Niles.
It's at West Brom now, Maitland-Niles, yeah.
I can't remember, but anyways, like they were, I mean, I think even Nketiah came back, and he was pretty confident that he was going to be in the starting lineup. Is Reece Nelson
still with you guys, by the way?
Yes, Nelson. I think Nelson went on loan as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Nah, he didn't manage. Man.
Oh no, Nelson stayed.
He guys blocked it, right?
He's the one.
Or what happened?
Yes, he's the one. No, it was him. Yeah, Nelson said, he's the one. Sorry, Nelson's the one that actually said that. He said that they wanted to make Arteta suggested him to going, and he said nah. He said he wanted to fight for his position in the team.
You know that he could actually he can play for Zimbabwe, hey, because his dad is from his dad is from Zim.
Oh,
so if Zim need a player, they should call him up, because I don't think he'll make the England squad.
I think England's going to win the World Cup one day, but not as an England team, because like there's many guys playing everywhere. I heard. I think there's some now in Germany. There's some they're everywhere.
Yeah, no. Yeah, there is.
But I mean, like they're in England, but they're eligible to play. They're eligible to play in other countries. It's crazy.
There are a couple. There is that guy from Bayern who chose to play for Germany, and there's a guy who plays for Valencia. He can play for America, play for an African country, and he can play for England as well. And he's about, I think he's from Arsenal's development, and then he moved to Valencia. I think he's like 18 or something.
That's it.
Okay. All right. So overall, your feeling here is a positive one, Wonga. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, positive. No, 100%. I think we will win it, and I think we should win it. I mean, Arsenal, we need to gain some sort of consistency. Have to.
I love these conversations.
Do you want to know? Do you want another
Yes,
stat, boys? You know, I feel like I'm Opta Joe. I don't know if you follow that Twitter account.
Yeah.
This is Opta Rich.
We're looking for that.
Okay,
So let's go.
So
Rich.
Opta Rich did my digging. So Burnley are going to be up for this because they are looking to complete their first league double over Arsenal since 1962.
There we go. There we go. What an
Can I hear that nonsense, bro? You know how many times it actually happens? Yes.
I've got a feeling it's going to happen too. Because let's look at. You've got to look at. I always say it's like when you're playing roulette. You know, it's like there's a pattern how these things work. So Burnley's gone draw, lost, drawn. What do? They do something. You know what I mean? And wait, Arsenal have lost, won. So what do they do for? They do for a loss, Wonga. That's a soft underbelly that's going to be exposed there. Burnley are going to take advantage. But guys, the big game, the biggest game of the weekend. West Brom, Newcastle.
Huge.
And that's me having a little bit of a dig at the game in Manchester, by the way. But it was too calm there by Settle. But yeah, biggest game of the weekend, West Brom, Newcastle.
Don't worry.
Guys, Rich, you want to tell us what happened? Opta Rich, you want to tell us what happened with Matt Ritchie and his boss, Steve Bruce?
I don't know the full story, but I just read before we came on that Matt Ritchie had a bust up with Steve Bruce. Klaus, I think you know more than I do, but there's definitely something not right in that camp.
Yeah, 100% not right. So overall, Matt Ritchie comes on the field. Steve Bruce sends some instruction. He doesn't listen to the instruction. Newcastle changed the setup. Wolves land up scoring because Ritchie's out of position. Steve Bruce comes out post-match saying, listen, we lost that game, or we lost those 3 points because of Matt Ritchie not doing what I told him to do. Matt Ritchie hears this being said. He says, listen, boss, we need to have a talk. The boss says, no, take it easy. We'll have a chat on Tuesday's training session. First thing, the guy comes into training session and calls the man a coward in front of everyone because he didn't want to have the chat with him afterwards. So that's kind of the situation Newcastle find themselves in at the moment. The man's not respected. Not respected. I mean, I think Nick comes on here week in, week out saying how he's not respected. And he almost, when you look at his face, he looks like a puppy or a dog that's been disciplined. You know that face, like all the time. And you can't live your life like that. You know, it's the same face David Moyes had when he was sitting in the Old Trafford dugout. You can't live your life like that, guys. It's not good for you. Yeah. Damn, so the question is, Stam Allardyce, guys, let's be honest. He's going to be smelling blood for this one.
Hard, bro. Yeah. Hard.
And
you know West Brom, especially with this new striker that they have, right? They are Sam Allardyce just needs a striker that can score.
An African, no, be specific. An African giant striker. That's what he goes for. You know, the Mama Nyang types. That's
he loves them. He loves them.
He just likes physical strikers, yeah. And man, he just wants the guy to score 10 goals in 25 games. That's all he wants. And he'll be happy because of those 10 goals he scores, he'll get like, out of those 25 games, he'll get a good 20-something points, you know, and he's a happy guy. He's a happy chappy. He's like, okay, cool, I got some 20-something points, whatever, and then I just need to make sure I get to 35 points for the season and I'll survive. He's the guy who's going to take it to the last day where West Brom need to win and Newcastle need to win, and guess who's going to win? West Brom's going to win.
But do you think Newcastle are going to be in it that long? I think like these next 3 games are going to be telling for them. I don't see them, generally do not see them getting anything against West Brom here. West Brom, last 3 games have been decent. They lose to West Brom. All of a sudden, their confidence is shattered. Another player has a go at Steve Bruce. We know Mike Ashley's not going to change the manager. I think it's going to be a slope, like a free in these next 3 games. I think they're going to slide down there.
He definitely needs to pull the plug and say, hey, man, listen, you need to go, actually. But listen, Matt Ritchie apologized, man. So I don't know.
He apologized because he's trying to find another club still. I mean, you can't, if you're not playing, you got to be nice.
Yeah, true.
You know?
The thing is for Newcastle, if results go against them, you say Fulham get a result tonight and Newcastle lose, they could find themselves in the bottom 3.
Yeah, and also let's say that. So you saying Fulham get a result against Spurs, not any other team, Spurs. What does that do for that side? You know what I mean?
I can see it happening. I can honestly see it happening. Fulham have been playing good football. You know, there's every chance they catch Spurs on an off day. You know, maybe Kane has a bit of a poor performance and Fulham nick a goal. Who knows? They're fighting for their lives. Stranger things have happened.
If they get a result, it They definitely will. Now they're going to show their worth, and it's definitely going to put other teams are definitely going to be wary. I mean, next time Fulham come to them, that's for sure. It will give them confidence, but I guarantee you that other teams will be wary, much more wary. I mean, when they do come against them, that's what I think as well.
This game week could be the defining game week for Newcastle. Because say Fulham win, Newcastle lose to West Brom, Fulham's morale's up here, Newcastle down here. That could be
true.
Done.
But also, let's go one step further. Is that their next game is against Liverpool and Man City, Fulham. So they've got absolutely nothing to worry about. So they're going to go out there. No one's expecting them to get any points.
True.
I think people are expecting them to get some points against Liverpool at Anfield.
Listen to you. Let's talk about people getting things at places. Here we go. Let's listen to this. Man City versus Man United here. Honestly, we're talking about OleOut. Do you think he's going to get anything against Man City? You said something about stopping Man City's winning run. Do you think Ollie's the man to do that?
Yeah, bro. Someone has to do it. Someone has to do it. Like Watford did to Liverpool last season. Someone needs to do it. And if ever it was written in the stars, written in the script, what's the Steven Spielberg writing an amazing script, an amazing movie, writing it.
Does he write it or does he produce it?
Hey man, listen, he writes this one. Hey, listen, he writes this one. Hey, Claudio.
I'm not so Quentin Tarantino writes, produces, does everything. Then I say, yeah, no, I'm on board. But
Quentin Tarantino or Guy Ritchie. Let's say Guy Ritchie because he's British.
No.
British.
Guy Ritchie's movies are terrible though. The only claim to fame he had was being married to.
No ways. Guy Ritchie's movies are dope, man. I like his movies,
he's had more flops than he's had.
I like a couple of his movies, bro. Yes, he's had a couple of flops, but I like a couple of his movies. Yes, Quentin Tarantino is better. But listen, Guy Ritchie's British, so he's a perfect guy to be doing to be doing this. What's gonna happen, guys? 0-0. That's what's gonna happen on Sunday, guys. 0-0.
Yeah.
Ole is he's gonna play that football that he does so well. Because this is one thing that Ole does actually do well, guys. He can frustrate the team. Hey, at Old Trafford, it was 0-0.
This is me.
It was 0-0, and
I'm telling you, you know what it is.
He's so good at frustrating.
You know what I think it is. I think he knows he's got a limited time frame at United, and he just doesn't want to lose any of the big games. So when he does get the sack, eventually he's going, I never lost to those sides, so stuff you. I know he's done that to Liverpool a couple of times, done it to all the big teams, and also you saying this, I think there's some sort of truth behind this because Man City's last two games, the teams have come back. Wolves came back. They had to score right at the end. The previous game, who played them in the previous week? Same thing happened. They actually, it was West Ham. Yeah, but also West Ham gave them a go-ahead chance at the end.
And Arsenal 1-0.
Yeah.
You see,
so let's say, they deny him space. They frustrated. There's a possibility.
Everton 3-1. It was 1-1 at halftime. So they lost 4 games. Let's say the last 3 out of 4 games, they've actually conceded a goal. It's just Arsenal didn't want to come to the party. We're not surprised about that. But the other 3, they showed heart. And then, like, Wolves had them till the 80th minute. And obviously, they scored 3 goals in the last 10 minutes. And then obviously became a 4-1 win. Shouldn't have been a 4-1. And I think, personally, that Solskjaer, guys,
Pumalami's saying he's saying some big things here.
No, the counter-attack part.
You saying draw. He's saying there's a possible win here.
Pep knows this, guys. Pep's mind says he did it at Old Trafford, guys. He said that, listen, Solskjaer beat me twice. How did he beat me? Actually, he beat me 3 times last season, once in the League Cup and twice in the league. How did he beat me? He played counter-attacking football. I'm not going to be stupid again this year. What do? I start with Fernandinho and Rodri. 2 defensive minded midfielders in front of the defense, and that's what he did. He made sure he's not going to concede on the counter. And Fernandinho is the best tactical fouler in the world. Anything that you try and go, and he never gets a yellow card. He never gets a yellow card.
Somehow he escapes it every single time.
He gets a yellow card on his 5th. He gets a yellow card in his 5th foul only, guys. And by that time, it's already in 85th minute, and you're so tired about it. So that's what he's going to do. He's going to start not ultra defensive, but he's going to be cautious to watch that counter, because you know that if Daniel James, Marcus Rashford, those are the fast players that in United, those guys will obviously run and could score easily. But that's why I'm thinking 0-0. I'm thinking a 0-0. That's what my heart wants is 0-0. And yeah, that's what I think can happen, a 0-0.
But also, settle the patterns there, right? It's about that time. Everyone says Ole out. What does he do? He shows up on the weekend and somehow United survive and keep him in the seat there. That's what they do.
100%.
Wonga, you want to add to this?
Yeah, look, I think when I watched Man Utd against Crystal Palace and the game against Chelsea. Look, man, they were lacking. They're lacking up front. Against Crystal Palace was worse. I mean, they should have beaten Crystal Palace. I think 3 even. Not mistaken. Some of those balls they would have finished them easy. I mean, Rashford as well. Looking very off form. Yeah, and you know, like it's one game is up and then the rest is down. So it's very worrying. And then you're going to play against the Man City team who are pretty much lethal in front of goals.
On fire.
And the only thing I think, I think Man United have the wing
Man
backs
United have scored
them.
3 goals less than Man City, so both teams have goals in them. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, So you get Luke Shaw and Wan-Bissaka, I think, are good defending 1v1. So it will be difficult for Man United for Man City to kind of break them through using the Sterling and Mahrez on the wings. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. But yeah, I mean they can score goals. I mean, and many of them can score goals. You got Cancelo can score a goal. I mean, let's say the midfielders and strikers can score goals.
Those guys, those guys have so many options, guys.
Yes, and that's what winning teams mostly have. Even Liverpool, when Liverpool won the league, how many people are scoring goals? Yes, you got the front three scoring majority, but you know you could get a goal from anyone. I mean, Van Halden, when you guys needed him, Van Halden was there scoring headers, shots. Fabinho was there scoring screamers. So I Man City on that kind of tip as well, and De Bruyne as well can also hit there and there. So yeah, that's why I say it's going to be a tough one for Man United. I think it will be a tough one for them. And like Shelo said,
let's try predict City's starting lineup, guys. I think that's one thing that people on Twitter have been crying about it during the week. They were saying, "Oh man, how are you not starting Foden, Stones, and who else didn't start this one? And Gundogan, because these people have in their fantasy teams, they were crying. They were like, Pep does it again." I'm like, hey man, you can never rely on Pep. The only person you can rely on Pep to pick is the goalkeeper. That's the only person. Is the goalkeeper.
And you know, you say that, but that's what my strategy for fantasy has been for like the last couple of seasons. The only Man City player I tend to have is the goalkeeper, Edison, because of that. You never know when they're going to play or who's going to play.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Pepperlet strikes every single week.
Rich, West Ham Leeds. Leeds are sitting mid-table. West Ham are pushing for that Champions League spot. Leeds have nothing to lose here. They fairly safe. They're 3 points from technical safety, that 38-point mark. I mean, do you think Bielsa gets the better of Moyes on this day?
I really hope not. This actually is a massive game for us because we've got some really, really tough games coming up after this. And if we could get 3 points, it'll just open up a little bit of a gap between, you know, the top 4 up to about 8th or 9th place. It would just cement us a bit. And I think, you know what, having gone to Ellen Road earlier in the season, beat Leeds away, you know, why can't we beat them at home this time around? But as you said, they are virtually safe. So they'll be playing free football. They'll be up for it. So this could be a potential banana skin for us. But I'm confident in my boys. I saw more than enough against City. I was super, super proud of my team because, you know, we could have easily surrendered before the game and they could have battered us. But, you know, I think we're actually slightly unlucky not to have got a point. You know, we had that chance at the end. Antonio hit the post. So I'm feeling confident that we can get a result. And if we do, you know, we could be potentially, what's the table looking like? If we win, we're 2 points behind Leicester and 3 points behind second place after 27 games.
Behind Man United.
It's wild, yeah.
That's good, man. That's a good performance, I think. And we're gonna play West Ham just before the international break, I think it is. So yeah, that's actually scary. That David Moyes is doing so well. But yeah, It's I guess it's a season. It's a season for West Ham fans to be happy and to jump up for joy and to dream, and then hopefully the dream comes to fruition and you end the top four, because that's the dream, right? Is to end the top four, get in Champions League, Champions League nights. The fans will be back at the stadium. London Stadium.
But here's the thing,
3,000
Silo, you saying no, but hold on. You saying hopefully they make the top four. If we're looking at the recent run of Man United, say Man United don't get the result they need on the weekend, suddenly, like Rich said, they're only a couple of points away from Man United. Say Chelsea or Liverpool go on to win tonight, Leicester keep doing the thing. Aren't you worried that they might slip out of top four, and at the expense of a West Ham, as an example?
I'm not worried about Leicester. I've never been worried about Leicester. Never. I worry about Chelsea and Liverpool. Never worry about Leicester.
Chelsea, Liverpool, West Ham.
I'm only worrying about West Ham because Rich is on the show. So Rich reminds me of West Ham, but no one is here to remind me about Leicester because Leicester choked last season, and Brendan Rodgers has always choked in his life. Brendan Rodgers always chokes. So how can you worry about a team who's got a coach who chokes more than my coach? My coach chokes.
I don't know what he's eating. But you're saying he chokes. The man did well at Celtic. I think also this is only his second season with Leicester.
I would also do well at Celtic.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's a good point. They were, when he came in, they were dominating Scottish football. He just kind of steadied the ship that was already doing well.
He just kept.
Yeah, but it's what he needed though. It's what he needed. You know, you're talking about if you got to take a Rodgers right now in terms of conviction versus what you're saying with an Ole. Who's got more conviction about when he's speaking to his players, when he's making substitutions, when he's making tactical changes at this moment in time, presently?
Rodgers has coached Liverpool and Celtic. He's coached two of the biggest teams in British football, British history. You know what I mean? Those are like two of the top 5 biggest teams in Britain. You know, where Solskjaer has coached Cardiff City and Man United. You know what I mean? Cool. What's Cardiff City? You know what I mean? So yes, Brendan Rodgers has got more, but he's choked. He choked last season, guys. He was number 3. He ended up number 5. How did he do that?
It happens. Rich, you've got Pumalani saying here, West Ham not making top 4. How do you feel about that?
Look, I mean, I'm not surprised by that comment because, to be honest, if we were to finish in the top 4, it would be the second biggest fairy tale after Leicester winning the league, in my opinion. If you consider where we were last season, like going into the last 2 games of the season, not even safe. Last 3 games of the season, not even safe. Now to be thinking of playing top 4, it would be a dream. It would be a dream. And you know what? I'm still dreaming. But what I want 100% is to get a European place. Doesn't have to be Champions League. I just want West Ham to be playing in Europe. You know, I think obviously top 4 would be a step way too far for us right now. But let's just consolidate, come top 7, play Europa League, just get a bit of just establish ourselves a bit in Europe. It's what we need. It's a transition phase. We can't jump straight into top 4. Yeah. If we did do it, it would be unbelievable.
But also let's think about it. They make top 4, Rich. They get the money coming in. The issue with that, so that money is a huge boost for the club. The issue is how they manage that money. We know the track record the owners at West Ham have in terms of the players that they buy and who they back. And the same goes for Moyes. He doesn't know how to spend money. So then you also go, shit, you might make this money. You kind of don't necessarily want to be making the top 4, but still keep the European spot because that way it's still managing expectations a little bit and guys aren't getting ahead of themselves. I don't know what you think about that. Is that a logical sort of way to look at it or...
Yeah, I think it is. We've had a shocking track record in the last 3 or 4 seasons. Actually, in fact, since we've moved to the new stadium, it's our 4th or 5th season now. We've had a horrendous track record of bringing in players. We've overpaid. We've paid players too high wages that didn't want to come to the club. But this season and the end of last season has actually been our best period of making signings in about 5 or 6 years. If you look at Soucek, Kufal, Jared Bowen, Benrahma, Lingard on loan, every single one of those signings, Dawson at centre back, every single one of them has performed.
Yeah.
So
So-
you know,
Yeah.
it's good to see, because in the past we have been shocking when it comes to making signings. We have been horrendous,
they were all
especially up
and they were
front.
all and they were all decent prices. You know what I mean? Except for okay, cool.
Exactly.
Benrahma was a bit, we can say, expensive, but everyone else is cheap basically.
Yeah, exactly.
there's something in
Benrahma
that,
was
isn't there?
25 odd, which I guess is expensive for a championship player. But everyone else, as you say, Solo, was reasonable, very reasonable prices.
But there's something in what you're saying there. It's almost because I know the West Ham owners have come out saying, you know, they are West Ham fans. And it's almost like there's this expectation because the fans want the club to do well. So they also want the club to do well. So they tend to have these sort of stars in their eyes where they go, okay, cool. We're going to do what it takes to bring a player in. They tend to pay over the odds for an average player, give him exactly what he wants. That player comes in super average, overpaid, kind of messes with the atmosphere in the club. And somehow then they struggle again. And it's that pattern that's been repeating itself. Whereas what you're saying now, which is very interesting in terms of how they've broken that pattern down, they're going, okay, no. You know, David Moyes likes signing modest players. Let's get the modest guys in here and let's make them. I always go personally, if I'm coaching a side, I'd rather have 11 players who are going to die for each other than have 3 or 4 players who think they're stars and the team's got to work around them, because that way you're relying too much on those guys. And if they have a bad day, you really screwed. Whereas in this way, it seems like everything is just gelling. So from that perspective, I could be wrong. I don't know. But guys, it's time for the betting corner. It's a time where get your money out, guys. If you're going to Tab, if you're going to anywhere else and you want to make the bets, listen to our guys, because one or two of them know their stuff. Others don't.
We need to get a betting sponsor. Come on, Claudio. We need to get a betting sponsor, man, for this section. Man.
I'm on it. All right. So we're going to start off with the big one for tonight, the Liverpool-Chelsea game. We're going to start off with Rich, Selo, Wonga, and then we're going to end off with me.
Sure. I can't see Liverpool losing 5 in a row at home. I just can't. Chelsea, they've been looking compact and they've been playing decent football, but I would expect the Reds to get a result at home. So I'm going to go 2-1 Liverpool.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for a 1-1. I just think the defensive fragilities of Liverpool will obviously result in a goal for Chelsea, and then I think the quality of Liverpool going forward and wanting to prove a point or get their goal. So I think a 1-1, and I think it's also best for myself and Rich that a 1-1 happens.
Yeah.
I agree with Silo as well. I think a 1-1 is on the cards.
Because Wonga wants a 1-1. I love it.
I need it, yeah.
Wonga, so if anyone is listening, if anyone's listening to the advice that we give, Wonga's advice is always based on what he needs for Arsenal. So I don't know how much you can do with that, but there we go, Wonga. Yeah, keep going.
No, but that 1-1, and I can't. I think probably the same reasons as Solo. I think, I also don't think that, Tuchel is just not up for a loss yet.
Yeah, he hasn't lost. I think you guys are right. But I think the interesting thing with Tuchel, we know he's tightened up at the back. We all know that theory. If you don't concede at the back, you don't lose games. You build on confidence and you move forward. The issue that they currently have now, Chelsea, is the midfield. Where they're going to find a player who's going to cut a pass, and up front as well. You've got Giroud who can hold the ball up, and then you're really relying on the width. Whereas somewhat, if I'm looking and analyzing the Liverpool situation, we haven't been great down both flanks defensively. So there is an opportunity there. And depending on who we play centre back, there is possibly a goal for Chelsea. But, you know, Rich has got me going with the stats. Opta Rich has got me too excited. So I've got to go. Got to go with the Liverpool win. And, you know, it's just going to click tonight. Let's hope it's going to click tonight. And I'm going to say 3-1 win Liverpool. But next game, Burnley, Arsenal, Rich, let's have it.
Oh, you know what? This just looks like one of those games where Burnley could potentially bully Arsenal. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they snuck in like a 1-0 win or something like that. But I think that Arsenal result against Leicester has given them a lot of confidence. And you know what? I would expect Arsenal to get a result. So I'm going to go 2-1 away win to the Gunners. Let's see what team Arteta puts out, because that team against Leicester, I was shocked. And then they go and win 3-1. So let's see. I'm going to go 2-1 Arsenal.
Yeah, it's a tough one, eh? I think for this one, let's go. Yeah, I think I'll go with Rich as well. 2-1 to Arsenal. I think we need Burnley to get relegated as well. And I think Arsenal have some momentum from that Benfica match, especially, and now the Leicester game from coming from behind. I think those two games will give Arsenal the confidence and the momentum needed to put a last minute fight to try and get into the top 7.
Yeah, I think I see I see Arsenal will. Yeah, I think they'll definitely get 3 goals at least in this one. Just hoping maybe they just try to fix up what's happening at the back there. Last game we conceded was a dumb error, especially to concede a goal first and early, just unnecessary pressure. My brother and my cousin keep on saying that Arsenal they love to do it the hard way, like to concede first and then see what they can do. Every game we like to concede first.
They're doing what United were doing at the start of the season.
Yeah, hey, it's a horrible thing, but I think I'm hoping they can fix that and take this game 3-0.
3-0. I think if you're saying exactly what you just said, they like to concede first. I think if they concede first against the Burnley, there's no coming back. Largely, and I want Burnley to get relegated, but these are the type of games Sean Dyche tends to somehow get a result against the softer belly sides like an Arsenal. So I'm going to say 1-0 win. 1-0 win to Burnley.
So he's learned from playing other softer belly sides like Liverpool.
Yeah, possibly. That's not okay. Right. Okay, next game. West Brom versus Newcastle. Rich?
Yeah.
I must be honest. I can see Sam Allardyce pulling this one out the hat. That centre forward that they have, he's actually looking good. He's strong in the air. He's someone that's going to cause Newcastle problems. And West Brom will look at this game and say, we win. We're 6 points off Newcastle. If they get a result. Newcastle will look at it and say if they win this, they kind of bridge that gap a bit and there's a bit of breathing room. But I see West Brom winning this. I think Sam Allardyce is going to pull out a little masterclass. I'm going to go 1-0 win to West Brom, and that striker will score. That Diagna guy, he's quality.
Yes, man. I hate to do this to Nick, wherever he is, because Saint Maximin, Almiron, Wilson, all out, 1-0 to West Brom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel the same. I would say even 2-0. I think it's going to be low, and I think Sam Allardyce is he's smelling it here. This is a big opportunity.
Yeah.
Newcastle are low on confidence. Yeah, they're going to try and pummel them, try to get one of them. He's going to do big things for his side, moving forward. Yeah. So 2-0 to them.
Guys, all I want you guys to do is Sam Allardyce, Steve Bruce, and with the show of hands, show me which one's which. We've got Sam Allardyce on this side, and then we've got Steve Bruce on this side. How would you? I know it might. Yeah, of course. So that's why this game it's a foregone conclusion. There's no way is Newcastle getting anything out of this, and then suddenly they're in big shit. So yeah, 2-0 win West Brom. I agree with that sentiment. Next game, Man City, Man United, the Manchester Derby. Rich, is there a possible way that Man City get stopped in this scenario, or do they keep pushing for that world record of consecutive wins?
Look, I mean, right now in the league, in fact, in all competitions, they look unstoppable. But if there's ever a side to get a result, it's Man United. Look at what Max Sauce the other week, last season, or was it even this season where he scored those goals against City?
Last season, it was June lockdown. Yeah, it wasn't even June lockdown. Last season. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, no one saw that one coming. So if there's ever a team to get a result, it's Man United at City. But I just can't see it. I can't see it. City are playing so well. I think there'll be one goal in it, but I think City will take it. I'm going to go 2-1. But it wouldn't shock me if United got something from the game.
Yeah. I've 3 score lines. It's 0-0, 1-0
to City. Are these conditional?
Yes, it's conditional stuff. You know me. It's 0-0, 1-0 to City and 1-0 to United. Those are the 3 score lines I can only see. I cannot see any other score line. But I do feel the one I do feel strongest about is 0-0.
Yeah, I do see City. I don't know. I can see the way they've been scoring and the confidence they're in. Yeah, they've on a long winning run, and usually those things do come to an end. And Man Utd looks like Man Utd is the team to do it, but and I think they'll be able to pull it off. They'll pull something off here.
Yes, Pums. Yes, Pums. Yes, Pums. I agree with you, Pums.
Pums is confident.
Come on, Pums.
Nah, I'm saying 1-0 to City. I think they'll still take it, if not even more. But they're definitely scoring.
Yeah, man, you got to play it out in your head, though. You got to play it like if there's one thing Ole's got Man United doing really well, that's being an organized side, not conceding when playing the biggest side. So almost how much do you go against something like that? Like if you got to say one thing Ole's done well as a coach, you got to say that's probably in his wheelhouse, right? And how much are you going to go against that? At the same time, to counteract what Rich is saying, what you're saying, and everyone else is saying, the amount of goals that City can keep. City are relentless. They're like a wave after wave after wave. Some waves are smaller than others, but eventually the wave's going to hit you. And when your legs are wobbly, you're going to fall over. So it's one of those scenarios where can they keep up? Can they hold them out? And we've seen the last 3 weeks, it's been a close one for Man City, but in the end, they got it over the line. But that said, fuck it. 0-0 draw. That's what I'm going with. Ole gonna Solskjaer.
Lads, it's worth a punt, eh? A normal draw. It's worth a little bet. I think I might put like 100 Rand on or something.
What are the odds on that, though? Do you know what the odds are?
It's actually crazy, guys. Do you know that some other guy he bet 3,000 Rand. He bet 3,000 Rand that the Chelsea Man United game was going to end 0-0. And he cashed out when it was 20,000 Rand. So he made 20,000 Rand from 3,000. Obviously, he was supposed to win 27,000, but he didn't hold out till the end of the game. So he won 20,000.
That's a quality little payout, eh?
Imagine,
I would have done the same.
17,000 just like that from a 0-0.
Yay, that's wild.
Man. But 3-1 for a normal draw this weekend. That's I mean, Rich, you're gonna make you $300 off of that if you put 100 Rand down.
No, for 0-0, that's high. If you say 0-0, the odds will be high.
Normal, not just draw. Yeah.
I wonder what they are. I'll check.
Let me check. Which app can I check? Yeah, you guys can chat. Let me check. One of these apps, these betting apps. I'm sure there's a
West Ham Leeds is the next game.
Let's go. Okay. So I was looking for the odds there. Okay, so West Ham Leeds. This is a massive game for us. I'm confident. We've beaten them already this season. I think I've looked at so many of these similar games earlier in the season and gone, it's a banana skin. We're going to struggle. And every single time the lads have proved me wrong and gone out there and got a win. So Leeds, they play good football, but they're open as hell when they try and defend. And that's something that the likes of Jay Lings can exploit. So I'm going to go same score line from the reverse fixture, but we're going to win again 2-1 to the Mighty Hammers. In top 4 consolidated, right on United's bum. You love to see it.
So guys, I found the odds, guys. It's 12-1.
Ooh,
yo, for 0-0, 12-1.
For 0-0,
that's
12-1.
That's so worth it.
And then for Man United to win 1-0, it's 14-1. And then for City to win 1-0, it's 6-1. For 1-1, 6 as well. The highest one you can get, guys, it's a 3-0. That's 100 to 1, 3-0 to Man United.
Yeah, that's never happening. But 100 to 1 for that. Imagine just taking the piss and putting $100 down on that. That'd be nice money for the weekend. But the 0-0,
the 0-0 one is 12, guys. That's crazy. You put 100 Rand, you can get 1,200 Rand.
Yeah. So everyone, if anyone's listening to this, everyone's listening to this.
I think I might actually do that. Yeah, man. 100 Rand that
I'll do it with you. GLTV watchers and everyone that supports us. We're putting a bet on a 0-0 draw, 12-1. We'll keep you posted.
Not
be crazy.
But wait, guys. Just so you're not confused, it's not the West Ham Leeds game. It's for the Man United.
Man United City game.
Yeah, City game. Yeah, because obviously that's where the odds. That's where the great odds are. But yeah, on the Leeds West Ham game,
West
I
Ham.
think Leeds will get a goal, but West Ham will be too strong. So 2-1 to West Ham.
Yeah, I agree. Like Leeds are going to be too open, and I mean, I mean, West Ham. I think if you look at it, you can look at it sort of to Leicester's situation when they were going to win the league. I mean, at some point you were like, before you're like, nah, it won't go for long. But I mean, at this point, second half of the season, where they were, what they've done in the previous games, you look at West Ham as well. You can see. I mean, look, it's not by any fluke. So they definitely have what it takes to beat Leeds, and I think again, Leeds are going to be way too open. They can get one, definitely. They can get two, but I think West Ham will always get more than them.
Yeah, I think this is actually
going to be one of the first.
This is going to be one of the first times where I think it's unanimous. I think if David Moyes has the call ready and he's putting it in his steam train, Antonio, I think it's going to be a runaway sort of situation there for West Ham. To be honest, that's what I'm thinking. So let's say, but you guys do know Leeds have something in their locker because they play so open. They can come back at you. So it's going to be a high-scoring game. I'm going to go 3-2. I don't know what the odds are on that, but everyone go check it out. Possibly put a bet on that. And let's see what you guys make on the weekend. Apart from that, gentlemen, that's pretty much the show today. Final thoughts before we head out.
Come on the 12-1.
Come on, come on the 12-1. Yes,
come on the 12-1.
Come on the 12-1. Yes, I agree with you, Rich. Come on the 12-1. Let's make some money.
I'm doing it, bro. I'm doing it. I swear. I'm
also doing it, man. It's 100 rand that you, man. Cool. You could make 1,200 rand.
Keen. You heard it here.
Yeah, right. Wonga, last thoughts on your end there, apart from the 12-1 from the two gentlemen below me.
Just for me, I just want Arsenal consistency, bro. That's my final thought. I need them to beat Burnley. It's not a want, it's a need.
Shame, and as you can tell by the tone of his voice, he's certainly serious about that comment. Guys, this has been Prematch Muti, brought to you by Goal Lounge. Uncut for the fans, for the goals, for the banter. Join the club, everybody. Can you guys say that again? Let's try that again. Can you do it? Can you do it with me? Uncut. Let's hear it. Uncut.
For the fans, for the banter. Join the club.
No, for the goals.
For the goals. Join the club.
Okay. All right. So there's four of us here. I'm gonna say uncut. Wonga's gonna say for the fans. Rich is gonna say for the banter. You're going to say for the goals, and then I'm going to say Goalloungetv, and then everyone's going to say join the club. All right, let's try that. Okay. Does everyone remember? Uncut.
For the fans.
For the banter.
For the goals.
Goalloungetv.
Join the club.
Yeah. We'll get better at that. Okay. Everybody have a good one. Have a good evening and enjoy Liverpool winning tonight. Peace. Yeah.
Cheers.